Does Monday at the office feel like a storm? Not with Microsoft Copilot. That feeling when Copilot gets everyone up to speed instantly? It's sunny again. When Copilot simplifies complex data so your teams can act, that sun's shining on a beach. And when Copilot uncovers hidden insights, you're on that beach with your people, and you find buried treasure. That's Microsoft Copilot. Learn more at Microsoft.com/AI for all.
Today on CityCast Philly. I grew up in Delaware County and I graduated from Upper Darby High School, UD, and I also spent a lot of time growing up in North Jersey, Patterson, and Newark. Now, I'm an adult living in Philly and I talk on this podcast for a living. But do I sound like I'm from this city? I'm speaking with another Philadelphian to figure it out. It's Thursday, March 7th. I'm Trinae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me to figure out if my accent is Philly enough is comedian Alan Massenberg. Welcome to CityCast Philly.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Alan, be honest with me. Do I sound like I'm from Philly?
I think you do. So I think like the kids in Philly, they have like a different, distinct slang and enunciation of things. But I think once you become older and an adult, you live life and you go places and you learn. So it kind of changes a little bit. But I think you do sound like you're from Philly, though.
How can you tell?
I think people from Philly have like a naturally, how do I explain this? It's like a lazy tongue.
Oh, well, okay, lazy tongue.
So like there's just certain words like we just don't enunciate. But I can tell, though. Like you don't sound like somebody from like Maryland or like LA or something like that. I can tell you from the area.
Okay, good. Alan, where did you grow up?
I'm originally from West Philly. I lived in West Philly till I was 12 years old. And then I also moved to Delaware County.
Where in Delaware County?
Lansdowne.
Okay, what high school did you go to?
I went to Penwood.
Oh, not Penwood.
Yes, Penwood, right around the corner from you. Yeah.
Yes, we have a rivalry for those that don't know.
Yes.
Okay, so Alan, are you still based in Philly?
No, I'm not. So I spend most of my time in New York now doing comedy. Then I also go back and forth between Lancaster. So it's like an hour and a half from the city. But I'm around a lot, but I don't spend most of my time in Philly no more.
Oh, man. Well, you got to come back. You know, speaking of your comedy, you've already done some really cool things with your career and with writing. You've been a finalist in the American Black Film Festival stand-up competition, and you appeared in the dad joke segment on the Drew Barrymore show. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. So you define the Philly accent as this like lazy tongue. What are some words or phrases that let you know that someone is from Philly?
So I think that we all know the traditional words, but I've been learning as an adult, like there's just certain words that I thought everybody said the same way, but that we don't. Like ask, like ask, like ASK.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know all my life that it wasn't pronounced X. Like I used to say it like AX.
Yeah.
Until I had a coworker at a sales job and they were like, yo, you would get more sales if you say that word differently. And I was like, what are you talking about?
I was working at a media outlet and someone pulled me to the side and they had conversations about the way that I say that word. And there was also this conversation like, it might be like a cultural thing. It might be a regional thing that word ASKED is sometimes pronounced AX.
Mm-hmm. I guess it could be cultural too. I didn't even think about that. It was a white guy telling me that, so it could be.
It was white people talking about the way I talk. So,
I mean, there's words like water. You know what I mean? Like I say water, but most people say water.
Yeah.
You know, I say WOODER.
DER. Yeah.
You know, water. You know what I mean? So it's just things like that. You know what I mean? Like the words bed and bed. Like
yeah.
I don't know if you ever realized that. Like head and head. Like we say those differently than other people. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Another word that just popped in my mind, when you have a conversation with somebody from Philly and you're like deep in the conversation, they might say, hit him up. You know what I'm saying?
Hit him up.
Hit him up. But it's like, it's like, him. Hit him up.
I don't know if I ever said the hit Ema.
That's how I know you're from Philly. That's how I know you're from Philly.
Hit him up, yeah.
Okay, so you've been moving around and touring with your comedy. How do you keep your Philly accent?
I talk to my family a lot. Like my little brother, he's like so West Philly. Like he is still in the trenches. So like I talking to him, I still get my slang. I'm like, what was that word you said? Oh, all right, I got you. So now I'm hip now. Okay.
I love that you come back and you spend some time with your folks. And that kind of made me think that we should play this clip of one of your sets where you talk about one interaction you had with one of your family members.
I love my mom, but I can't stand her on Facebook, yo. I wish she would just like my post and leave me alone, all right? I never forget one time, like on my birthday, I put a post up. I said, I can tell I'm getting older because my knees start to crack during sex. Right. My mom commented. She said, boy, you have no idea, okay? She said, wait until you're my age. I said, yo, you're black. I ended up blocking my mom, okay?
Alan, speaking of moms, I'm a mom, and I feel like my kids sometimes out Philly me sometimes, like within their talk and their speech. Like I'm thinking about what it takes to raise a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Are you often like conscious of how you speak to them and what you could sound like? Do you think about that?
I do. And it's funny because my kids make fun of me because they say I talk two different ways to them as opposed to like I'm talking to my friends. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like when I'm talking to them, I want to talk how, you know, the right way, I guess, to say. Like when I'm talking to my friends, like I'll get really into like who I really am and we'll be talking about things and, you know, it's my boys, but I don't want to talk to my daughters how I talk to my homies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That code switching.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to get a little personal, let's get a little personal. Did you have children with a non-Philadelphian?
Yes, I did. I did have children.
See, I had children with a guy from North Philly, so, you know.
Oh, yeah. So you good. You're good. You're good.
Okay, so you had children with a non-Philadelphian. How do you speak to a non-Philadelphian?
Speaking to a non-Philadelphian is like being a teacher. You really got to like break things down. Like being in a relationship with somebody who's not from Philly is like, I don't even know if it ever ends. Like you're always constantly teaching them just new things. I don't feel like it ever ends, you know, because I feel like Philly slang is always evolving.
Yeah. Okay, what's something that you had to teach your non-Philadelphian partner about how to speak Philadelphian?
I think it was just the word John. Like,
okay,
we'll be honest here. So one of my exes, right, she wasn't from Philly. And she would get mad if I used the word John when referring to like another woman. Because in her mind, John was like a cute girl that I wanted to get with. I was like, no, that's just a John. Like, it's just a regular person. You know what I mean? So like, it was a lot of that trying to explain like this word has so many different meanings. You can't just be like, yo, this is a bad thing. It's like, no, like, that's just a John. Your mom is a John. I mean, I want your mom. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like ease up on me. Ease up.
Right.
Relax. All right, we'll keep figuring out how to speak Philadelphian after the break. This is CityCast Philly.
Shipping can make or break a sale, so optimize how you ship your orders with ShipStation. They make it easy to automate and manage orders no matter how big your business grows. And they might even be able to help reduce shipping and warehouse costs. So optimize and keep up your momentum for growth with ShipStation. Sign up for your free 60-day trial now at ShipStation.com and use the code POD. That's ShipStation.com with the code POD.
Alan, even in this conversation, though, do you feel like there are different ways to speak Philadelphian? Because depending on like what section of the city you grew up in, you had like a different experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like someone from South Philly, you know, could sound so different than someone from West Philly to me. Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Also, too, like, like South Philly Italians are going to sound way different than like Black people down bottom in West Philly. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think parts of the city also, just the different cultures, I think that plays a part in too. Because like different parts of the city have different cultures. It can even go small as that. Even like blocks have their own lingo. You know what I mean? When you're growing up, you and your friends say certain things a certain way that the kids around the corner don't say.
Like the Deuce, I would not have referred to 52nd Street like the Deuce. But Pat Bev, when he was in Philly, was saying, "Yo, I was on the Deuce." I'm like, please someone translate that for me in the comments because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yo, that is hilarious. Like, I know what a Deuce is. I've been doing the Deuce was all my life. You know what I mean? So it's just so funny because if you're not from that area, like you wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if you've realized this, but you just kept saying, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean." That's another Philly thing. That's how I know. That's how I know you're from Philly. Like, you're legit.
That's so funny because you don't even think about it, man, until people from like outside of Philly pointed out. It's like, yo, that's different. It's like, I didn't even realize it.
Alan, before you go, I want to have some fun and play a game with you. I'm going to drop some words or phrases in this chat that we have, and you say them. And also, if you could say it in a sentence.
Okay.
For our non-Philadelphians so that they could understand maybe when they speak or interact with a Philadelphian what the heck we're talking about. Okay. We're going to start with the basics.
This is the most famous word from Philly. Jawn. Yeah, jawn is a noun. It's a person, place, a thing. That's exactly what it is. Like, it could be used for anything. Like, the podcast you're listening to, this jawn is really good. Like,
thank you, Alan.
And the John had a very sincere reaction. You see?
Yes, I'm a John. Okay. We did an episode, our very first episode, back in the archives if y'all want to check it out. I have issues sometimes with the word John when people like overuse the word for like commercial purposes. It just, it makes me so angry. But anyway, moving on. All right, I'm going to drop the next word.
Okay.
Now, this one, I'm not sure how to technically spell it, so I'm going to put two versions of it in there.
Okay.
And Alan is laughing.
Yeah, no, so I see both variations of this spelling, and the word is bull, right? So I spell it B-U-L.
Okay.
And I see people spell it B-O-L. Now, I'm not a fan of the double L. Just never should be a double L.
Oh, I've never seen a double L on bull.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I don't like it. I don't know where that comes from, but yeah, bull just means it's a dude, a man, just a bull over there. You know,
yeah.
It's like
the opposite of John. Like, you would be the bull, and
right.
I'm the John.
Right. So bull it comes from it's the lazy tongue version of boy. That's what it is. Bull. Like.
Sometimes, though, in Philly, you might hear someone say, "That's my youngin."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And youngin can also translate to like boy or like person that is younger.
Yeah, my young bull.
You're my young bull. There you go. Yep.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Now, speaking of regions, and we have experience in the county and in the city, this word.
Use guys, right? Use guys is strictly for the white people. Okay.
Yeah.
This is white people in the suburbs. I feel like the further I get from Philly, the more I'll hear use guys. Like, I would just say y'all. Like,
I say y'all a lot.
Yeah.
I say y'all a lot. Mm-hmm. Well, because of that phrase, use guys, I'm going to give you this one. And I want you to say this in your most Philly accent possible.
We're going down Wawa to grab some hoagies before the Eagles game. Yeah. Wawa, it's a convenience store. Grab some hoagies, sandwiches, subs, wherever you from, what you call them. But it's a sandwich, you know what I mean? Hopefully it's the Hoagie Fest, so they're only $5.99. You know what I mean?
All right, I'm going to give this a try, and I'm going to try it in my most Delco accent I can possibly say it.
All right, let's hear it.
We're going down Wawa to go grab some hoagies before the Eagles game.
Not the Eagles. Then the husband would be like, all right, we're going to go down to Wawa. We'll grab some hoagies before the game. You know who's playing.
right, let's try this one.
That's out of pocket. That's just out of pocket, bro.
No,
like,
now the phrase is out of pocket. He's not saying that I'm out of pocket.
oh,
That
my
is
bad.
what the phrase is. Say that in a sentence.
Yo, the way the bull ate the horse poop after the Eagles won the Super Bowl was out of pocket. Was out of pocket, bro. He was strong.
He was drawing. That's another. Drawing meaning like you are so ridiculous right now. Like what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're acting, what your whole everything is just ridiculous.
Just so in the wrong.
It's wrong. And you are drawing.
Yes. Out of pocket.
Out of pocket. I think out of pocket probably would be more, we're back in Philly now. Like we're out of the county. We are either down bottom, over in west. We are up north. And that's another thing. Say this.
What you got? And the word she put on the screen is North, but it's pronounced North with an
North,
F.
yes.
With an F.
Same with math.
Math, yes.
I got a lot of homework in math class.
Right, you're going down South Philly. You're not going to South.
Yeah, we don't go to South. But on the podcast, when I have to talk, I say South Philly. South.
gotta wake that tongue up, man, because that's the thing.
All right, the last one, I promise.
Water ice. I didn't know that water ice wasn't not even the word was a thing. Like the actual product isn't a thing everywhere in the world. Like water ice is a regional thing. I didn't even know that until I got older and traveled.
Yeah, so I feel like the word water is something that I will sometimes consciously or unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever, like I will translate that depending on where I'm at. And that's like the chaotic part of all of this. Like as a Black woman, as someone speaking on this podcast, like sometimes I can be loose. Sometimes, I'm a little more like corporate America, I guess. Like, and it's just been this like journey, or like sometimes when I'm talking to the homegirls or I'm talking to, my neighbors or I'm talking to the kids, I change my tongue so much. And it's weird. I envy people that just are themselves, like they don't change for anyone. Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at now with comedy, because I've done corporate America, I've code switched, I've dressed the part, I've shaved how they want me to shave, I've done all that, and I'm sick of it. So I do comedy now. Nobody can tell me what to do when I get on that stage, so.
All right, that was Alan Massenberg, comedian and writer. Thank you so much for speaking Philadelphian with me on CityCast Philly.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You can check out Alan tonight downtown at the Helium Club located on 2031 Sampson Street for a 10 p.m. show. Oh my God, that's so late. And listen to his new album, We Got Action. It's available now for pre-order. We'll have all the links you need in our show notes. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this episode about how to talk Philadelphian, tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Friday News Roundup. Bye.